Okay, so the next tool what we have is Maven. So what is Maven? So Maven basically is a build tool. Okay, build tool for Java, primarily for Java, basically build tool for Java. Now, if you see that here, we do the coding, right? After that, we scan the code. After that, we build the code. After that, unit testings we do, and after the unit testing, we package the code, correct? And packaging after that, we archive the packages to somewhere, and then deploy to QA environment, and then we accept in testings also we do that. So where the Maven stands? So Maven can be used for these places. Maven can be used for building the Java projects. Maven can be used for unit testings. Maven can be used for packaging also, right? So these are the places where we can use Maven. Okay, so it's a build tool for Java. Now it is a free, okay, from Apache. There's an organization foundation called Apache Foundation, and it is open source also. So these are the advantage but we have. Other build tools, like there are so many build tools we have in the market. Like earlier we had make files, then ant, then anant, then Maven, then Gradle, and MS build and PyBuilder. So many languages, different build tools are there. So out of Java, Maven is very popular. The next one also I'll teach you is Gradle. So now the question is, how do we install it? So now, how to install it? So installation is very simple. Download the zip file, extract it. But because it's developed in Java, okay, so you have to have a Java installed. So let me check the Java installed or not. So in my machines, echo, um, let me check which Java. I'm sorry, where Java in Linux, it's Windows, right? Where Java is there, and 17 is set actually. If you see that Java project 17 is set. And how do we echo Java home, Java home, and that is also set. So these two requirements are there for running the Maven actually. So Java is there. Now download the Maven. From where you'll download. So if you see that, download Maven, that's all. And here you see this is the for Linux star while. You can use this one for Windows also. This is a source code, you don't need to use it. Source code binary is okay. So just download it. I have already downloaded my favorite location, C tools and Maven. You see here, this is the one, another one. So there's a two version here. Okay, so there's one version and two version. So I will delete, I think this is empty, so I'll delete this one. I've already downloaded, so I'll not download it again. So this is the one. So once you download the zip file and extract it, you find this one. Now what you should do in order to use the Maven on the command line, you should add this path in the path. I think I might have added. If not, let me check that, because this is the new machine, so I need to. It's there. You see, it's already there. So a path which is already there in this. So that's all. So done. So Maven installation is completed. Now what to do? So let me create one directory, Maven. Okay. And the first thing what you should do, you should create a project. The very first thing. So what is a project? So for this, Maven workflow and DevOps school. Just search for this. You will get all the commands for the workflow. Okay, not this one. Let me just check. Maven, and this is the installation documents. and here this two should be there. Yeah, so this is something which I need it, I'll explain you, and this one also I need it, I'll explain it. Okay, so in Maven you have, after installing it, you have to create a project. So how do we create projects? Before that, I want you to understand few things, and that is, let me talk about it. Let's go to the command line and run for mbn. Mbn is a command line for Maven. So now if you see that here, there is some errors here. So they are looking for something actually. So we need to understand. So they're saying, hey, goals. So what is goal? It says no goal has been specified. So we don't know the goal. Here is called valid life cycle phases. What is life cycle and what is the phases? So that I don't know, life cycle and phase. And these are the some plugins are there which we need to understand. And these are the goals which you can see here. So question is, what is the life cycle? What is a goal? No, what is life cycle? What is a phase? And what is a goal? This is a conceptual topic you need to learn actually. Okay. So in order to understand the Maven. So remember that in Maven, I said it's all about the building, unit testing, and packaging. So there is a two approach. One, you write all the scripts for building, all the code for unit testing, and all code for packaging yourself. That's a one approach which we do in the end and MS make file and all. But what Maven is saying, hey, you do not write a script, okay? Because I know that Maven is for building the solution. So if you follow the architecture properly and the directory structure, I will, and the layout, which I will give it to you. So then I will do the build for you. I will do the unit testing and I will do the packaging. Okay, that is important. So everything will be done by Maven only. How? Let's understand this way. Maven versus Ant. Ant is another build tool. And if you see that here, look at this image, very popular image. See here. If you look at this very carefully, in Maven, everything is automated. Whereas in other build tools like Ant, MS Build, Make Files and all, everything is manual. That means Maven says everything, if you follow my direct structure, everything I will automate it. So for example, then you should ask, okay, Maven, how you will create a project directory structure, I'll teach you. Preparation, compilation, testing, packaging, all this thing, cleanup, all this thing I'll teach you. So for that reason, you need to understand what is a life cycle, what is a phase, and what is a goal. Okay. Are you comfortable, all of you? All of you.
Yes, Raj.
So question is, what is life cycle? So for that, this tutorial will help you. So guys, everything in this whole planet, we have a life cycle. Okay. So life cycle example, you see, you start to end, you born and then you die. And in between, we have a life cycle. Mind it, in order to die, you have to born, right? In order to become young, you have to become a kid, like that. So this is the life cycle. So same way in the software development also, we have a life cycle. In the software development, we have an analysis life cycle, design, development, testing, and blah, blah, blah. You understand this. So same way, what we have, build processes also, we have a life cycle, start to end. Remember, software build process. Also, we have a life cycle, start to end. So what are the life cycle which we have? So unfortunately, human have one life cycle, but in a software build process using Maven, you have a three life cycle. One is for the default for every projects. One is clean and site. By the way, you can write your own life cycle also. That is also possible in Maven. But let's stick to the default one. Okay. So default life cycle you have, you see how many phases you have, because these are the phases, right? These are the phases, toddler, baby, all these are phases. So same way for the automating the build process, we have a one default life cycle, and here these are the phases. Start with a validate till deploy. So some of them you should focus on it, some of them which is very important. And for example, compile, for example, test, package, install, something like that. So these are the important one. Are you getting my points, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these are the, so what is this phase? So guys, there's one default life cycle, and then we have a phases for the automating the build process. Okay. Now the question is which phase? So compile, test, package, install. These are the phase. Now, how can we reach to the phase? See, human have limitation. You say, I want to become young. You cannot do that. It's not under your control. But if you say, hey, in the software development lifecycle, you say if you want to test. So before test, you have to develop. Before development, design. Before design analysis, like that. So same way, if you want to say you want to create a package for the software in the build process, so you have to compile, you have to test, then only you can create a package, like that. Simple rule. So it's a life cycle concept. So that means if you do deploy, that means all this will happen. Understand? If you say install, till up to this will happen. If you say compile, all these things happen. So this is the conceptual stuff. Okay. So you have a life cycle, then phases. Are you understanding? Any confusion? Any confusion?
No, Raj.
Okay. But you know what? Then you will say, okay, Rajesh, I want to take my project to the test phase. See here. So what to do? So then you have to have some magic mantras for it. And that magic mantra, we call it a goal. What we call it? A goal. Look at this here. Very simple way it is explained here in this image. Goal. So here, this is the life cycle. These all phases. And here you have a goal. Test goal, compile goal. These are the main one actually. There's a package goal here. These are the goal. So for these all phases, if you want to travel, take your project to that location, there is a goal. So now you understood that life cycle versus phase versus goal to manage the build process automation. That's all you have to remember it. So you have to remember these are the phases which we have, and these are the goals to address that. Are you okay with it, all of you? All of you? Hello?
Yes, Raj.
Okay, so now next question is how do we get started using Maven, because Maven says everything is automated. So how can we start? So first we should get into that project directory structure. How can we create automated way using Maven project directory structure? So here you have a commands for it. This is the command: plugin name, goal, input. What is input? So you're giving input. Let me copy paste in the chat window here. So here you are giving the company name, group ID here, and your product name, financial services, and some more options. So this is the important one. Remaining things, hyphen D, which you see is a passing parameter. If you don't pass it, it will prompt you. And here I'm saying, hey, don't ask anything else apart from that. So let me create a directory structure using Maven. So clear the screen. enter. So now if you see, they're downloading some of the repository from the central repo from the internet, and then they will create a directory structure. Let's wait for it. Done. You should read all this information very carefully. If you see that, um, see the directory structure has been created. So now Maven is saying, hey, for the product, keep the code for here for functionality, and test code you keep it here. And if you do all this thing, I will automate rest of the things. What rest of the things? So here compilation will be automated, testing will be automated, packaging will be automated, and so on. So everything will be automated. So can we see the directory structure now? Here is my code. This file is the one which is your configuration file for the project. Okay, uh, here, and whatever you passed, no, I passed this information. So taken up. Ignore this first few lines. This one is for XML standard. What is your group ID? What is artifact ID? So this is your organization detail. What packaging you want to do? So 4 types of packaging supported by Maven: jar, var, EAR, and pom. Out of which jar is popular. They've given the product version number by default. So 1.0 hyphen snapshot. So what is that? So snapshot means not stable code. Whenever you see hyphen snapshot, it's not a stable code. And if you think this code is stable, this project is stable, you can remove hyphen snapshot, it'll become a stable. And this is your project name, your website, company website, and this code for this is dependent on JUnit. You can add just like this if it is a dependency. So now it's a pom.xml. Here you have a source code. You can go inside that and write a code. So let me write a code. I'm just faking out one code and open up with notepad, and this is the checking out. Okay, so code is done. Two source code I am having. Similar way, you have to write a test code inside it here. So good to do. Done. Let's say assume that program has been completed. So this is what you have to do. First you have to create a directory structure, start writing code and all, and then compile, test, package, and so on. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah, Raj.
So now what to do? MBN, all the goal name. Okay, so goal name means what is compile, enter. So now there is a failure. When I run this command, it says, hey, no pom file is there in this directory. Means pom is should be there, but it's not there. So what I'll do, I'll go inside the directory and run this command. And now maven compile, and compilation happened, and you should check this. See here, compiling two source file. I had a two source file, right? So where do you find it? Under the target and classes. So go for target directory, classes, com, company name, software. See, this is the two class file. This is a compile code. Now what we want to do? Package. So package will compile again if the code changes are there. Find it, because lifecycle rule will be followed. And if you see that packages happened, here it is under the target folder. Go to this. This is the package. You wanted before packaging, you wanted to do the test. Before that, test, enter. See, test has run. One unit test cases. Here it got compiled, and so. So easy, right? Maven has made this so easy. You have not written even one line of code in Maven and made it everything so easy. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So here, that is what I am saying. So if you see that here, in this image, if you look at this, so what we did, we created directory structure automated way. We compile, Maven compile, we test it, Maven test it, packaging done. Now you think you want to clean up, okay? So there's one goal which is called clean. So I'll just run maven clean. So it will remove the directory which is target, because everything is done in target directory. And here, what is this? OneDrive. Why OneDrive is set up? Okay, desktop is gathering. Okay, so here you see deleted. Okay, so using Maven, life has become so easy. Now you need to get comfortable with this. So what you need to remember, first thing, Maven is a build tool for automating build process. Second thing, which language you can automate the build process using Maven? Java. Third thing, how to install Maven? For that you need a JDK and Java home and path. So that Java installation basically. Fourth thing, how to install Maven? It's not installation, just download it, extract it, and the bin folder add in the path. mbn is a command to get started. After that, what to do? So after that, create a directory structure. This will be done only once in a project lifetime. Okay, new project you can create, but most of the time, compile, test, package, clean. So these are the most frequent job you will do, that ambient compile, ambient test, ambient package, and so on. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Now you need to understand, this is, we call it meta information. We can call it coordinates, project coordinates. So here I told you packaging, it can be four types: jar, ER, var, and pom. The version, two types of version, again I'm repeating: release and snapshot. Snapshot, not stable code; release, stable code. If you want to make it release, remove the hyphen snapshot, it will become a release. If you want to inform that snapshot, add it. This is your website name. Now, why do we have a dependency here? This one, what will happen? So this dependency is basically project dependency, project code dependency. So what we have to do? Look at the code actually. Go inside the code, test code. See here, test code. Why? Because scope is test phase, and company name, software, this directory structure, and open up a code. Okay, so now if you see that when you open up a code, this is the packaging structure for the same code, but they are importing some different library also, right? They are different, correct? You see, import. So this library, this class file should be there. This class file should be there. Let's say I do not run this. I just remove this here. Okay, and for time being, and I am trying to build this test. See here. Um, see, so while compiling the test cases, see, so they're saying, hey, compilation failure, and this file, the package name gunit framework does not exist. So how to set those packages which is required for building, which your code is using? How can we set this? So for that we have to set dependencies here. So this dependency here you see set, this is the group ID, artifact ID, version. So this dependency will be downloaded by Maven. Okay, I repeat, dependencies will be downloaded by Maven and stored in the build environment and then use in a class path. So how it will happen? So let me help you to understand. So it's very simple flow, but understanding is required. So how Maven download dependencies. So what will happen when you run Maven command? It will read pom.xml, okay, and read all the dependencies, whatever the projects you have. After that, what will happen? This dependency they will um, uh, refer in local repo, Maven local repo. What is local repo then? So Maven local repo default, that is this location. Let me show you. Here it is, .m2. Here it is. So this is a local repo. You can change it, but no one is changing. So let's not talk about it. Local repo. What happened? They try to find out the dependent libraries in the local repo, whatever you mentioned here. So what is the dependency? JUnit, JUnit 3.8.1. So can we check that in this JUnit 3.8.1, and this is our file. So they will try to find out this one, and this they will add in the class path. Okay, they will add in the class path, so failure will not happen. Okay, so this is what happens. But let's say they will, let's say they did not find this package here. So what will happen? Let's say I'm deleting it. So what will happen? So in that case, what will happen if that they're not finding the local repo? Download from central repo, to local repo. Okay, to local repo and set in the path. So what is the central repo now? So central repo is a public portal from where all the open source code we can download, which is repo.maven.apache.org. This is the one, the public one. So your Maven will download from here. Let me show you. JUnit 3.8.1. This will be downloaded. So again, please understand the flow. Maven first read the any dependent packages pom.xml. Based on that dependency, they try to set the library path in this local repo. If they do not found, download from the central repo and download to local repo and set in the path. So right now I have deleted it. So if you run again, yes, it will download. Let me show you. See, downloading here has happened. Got it, all of you, how it works? So you can also call it Maven as a dependencies management system. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes, sir.
So make sure that if some of the compilation issues are there, you have to check the dependencies like this. Okay. Apart from that, there are few things also like setting up the property and using it. So you can put it up like this: Maven properties. Example I'm showing you in pom.xml. So that's not a big things. See here. So in pom.xml, you can set up a properties like this: property name, value, property name, value, property name, value. So these are the four property. So in order to avoid the hard coding, you can do that. So now you can use Jackson dot version using dollar sign somewhere. See here, dollar sign. So under the dependency, you can use this one. So this is something which you are supposed to know. So most of the time you are supposed to know the goal, which is compile, what it will do, test, what it will do, package, what it will do, and the last one, clean. Four you have to remember, though there are so many goals are there based on the requirement, but 90% of the time these goals you need to remember, and you need to also be comfortable with this directory structure. You don't have to do anything as such, but you just need to understand this directory structure. Understood? Target will be created after that once you run the compile or whatever. So everything extra file will be stored in the target directory. Let's say here you have a classes file. Here you have a test cases, certified reports, and test class. Here you have product code. Here you have packages will be same way. So I know. So guys, did you understand that? What is Maven, all of you? Any questions on this? Any
Yes, sir.
questions on
Thank
this?
you.
Okay, so I will give you this two tools recordings. Let's practice this. Okay, and next sessions will have a different topics actually. So do you want one more session on Gradle, or should we wrap up the sessions?
Uh, Today you repeated Sonar Cube, right?
Yeah, SonarQube and Maven.
Okay.
You
Can
want
you
to have a
upload
Gradle
last
today,
talk
or you
video?
want? Yeah, I'll do that.
Have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.